Good morning. I have been asked how I make my coffee dye lace papers, so I said I would try to make a video to show how I make them, and we'll see how it goes here. I've got it set up in my kitchen, and I've not filmed from here before, so hopefully it goes well. So I've never measured how much water and coffee, but I have this cookie sheet that I use, and I fill the bottom of the cookie sheet with water. So that's approximately 2.5 cups that I just put in there. And then I usually put about 3 scoops of coffee. And this is tablespoons. It's a tablespoon. I just go by looks usually. When it looks about right, then I'm done. So let's see here. I have 2 different tablecloths that I cut up, and I found out that I have to use a different, what's the word I want? One has to be darker, the other has to be lighter, my coffee water. So this is pretty dark. I may add a little bit more, because for the one design it's got to be really muddy. So I guess I'm putting 4 tablespoons. I must put heaping ones when I do it, because I get it pretty dark. There, so that one is really, really dark. And so this one, let me grab one off this paper here. Yeah. This tablecloth design is not a loose design, if that makes sense. So here's what this one, the design looks like, and then compared to this one, you can see there's a lot more holes. For this one, I have to do a much lighter coffee water, or else they just turned out super, super dark, like they burnt almost looking. So this one I can actually do in the house. The other one, it does not turn out in the house. I have to do them outside. So I have to make enough in the winter or in the summer of the other kind to get me through the winter. So I will show you. So here is the one that I can do in the wintertime too, in the house. This one I can do in the house. Comes out just gorgeous. I hope that's showing up well on the film. I don't know if I've done this one outside or not. I got this one at the end of last summer. So I can't remember if I've tried doing it outside. But since I can do it inside, I leave the outside for the other ones so I can get those done. Now, when I tried doing, this is from that same loose tablecloth one. When I did this one indoors with the same water that I used for this, the design does not come out as well. You can see the design, but the background isn't as light. You can see here, this one was done outside. The background, the design comes out whiter, where on this one it's very muted. And then I tried doing, so I said I used the lighter water for this one. This was done outside, so I tried the same water from the same batch of papers and did this one inside, and you can see the difference. I don't know why. I don't understand. So I guess part of what I'm saying is that you have to experiment with the tablecloth or the plastic that you have. And then I have this. This is from a placemat, and it's a much thicker plastic. It does not come out as crisp. It's still pretty, but it doesn't come out as crisp of a design as this does. So again, you just have to kind of experiment to see what's going to work for you, because there's so many different ones. And then something I've started this year, in the past I have either put my paper just straight on the table and put the placemat pieces on top, or I've done aluminum foil or wax paper. But I found these at Dollar Tree. They're chopping mats, they call them. You get 2 of them for $1, and I really, really like that. This is dirty. They come completely clear, but I've used this so much there's coffee stain all over it. And they do wash off pretty well. I wash them every once in a while because the coffee buildup gets sticky on there. But I will dip my paper in coffee, lay it on here, put my plastic on top, and I can stack many on top of each other and then carry them outside and lay them on my tables. Last year I brought my whole tray of water, and I'd have my stack of papers and my stack of plastic pieces, and it took me so long to lay them out, and I was out in the hot sun and leaning over that table. Here I can do it in the counter, which is much higher, and I can do it a lot faster. So I really, really like these. Also, these, I wet my table down outside, and there's a rough side and a smooth side. It doesn't seem to make a difference on the coffee dyeing, but I wet my table and lay the smooth side down, and if the wind comes up, they hold pretty well onto the table, where last year I would have papers and plastic blowing all over the yard. So these have worked really, really well for me. I really like them. And like I said, I can just stack them and go from one to the next. And before it took me so long to lay out my papers. So all I do, and usually I have it set up as a kind of assembly line, but since I have to keep everything in one spot here, I will have to kind of slide things around. So I just dip my paper in, flip it over, and then usually I'd have my plastic just right next to me. Try to stay out of the camera as much as possible. And I just pull it out, put my plastic on top. I should have grabbed one of the solid pieces. This was a piece I'd cut out. Smooth it out because there gets to be wrinkles in there, and if there's wrinkles then they won't always coffee dye really well. So this one I kind of pieced together. I have a couple of pieces I put on the corner, and I think it looks really pretty how it turns out. So, oops, I want to get the corner of the paper. There, and then like I said, I just stack on top. Let me get another plastic. So now I do one side like vertical and one horizontal and up and down like that kind of stuff. So then this one would go vertical because that one was horizontal. Now for my tablecloth that has the more open design, I can't use this dark of water. So I have no idea how much I put in there. Let me pour 4 more cups in my measuring thing. I add quite a bit of water to it. I don't know if you can tell the difference so much with filming, but I add a lot more water to it to do the other design. That still might be a little dark, but my pan's getting full. So it's a much lighter. Let me move this and I'll put my paper in there. Yeah, it's still pretty dark. A lot of times this one, when I pull it out, it almost looks like there's not even anything on there compared to the other one. I don't know if it's because then the sun bakes it, and so if it starts out too dark. And again, I just lay it on there and smooth it out. And just keep stacking one on top of the other and put them out where I need them. Now one thing that I have to do sometimes is give my plastic a bath. You can see the coffee has built up here and it gets really sticky. And then sometimes that will make a dark spot on the paper, which again makes it look more vintage, but just kind of depends on what you're looking for. This tablecloth, like I said, I got it at a garage sale at the end of last summer. The lady had lots of vintage stuff, and I asked her, there was so much stuff, I thought, if she has a tablecloth here, I'm never going to find it. So I asked her, and she goes, yeah, I've got one hanging in my backyard on the clothesline. And I said, well, I'd be interested in it. And she goes, well, it's kind of torn up. I said, that's okay, I'm going to cut it in pieces anyway. So she goes in the back, and her husband, I think, was a little bit embarrassed about it. He goes, it's kind of dirty. I said, I can wash it, because I just don't find the plastic tablecloths. So I only have 9 plastic pieces of this one, besides, that are just like the rectangles, besides this piece here. So I can't make very many at a time. This particular tablecloth was huge, and I must have 60 pieces of this one or so. There's different designs depending on what part of the tablecloth it is. But this one, I kept some of the little pieces, which I'm glad I did, because I've been doing this design on little mini tags and Rolodex cards, and it's kind of nice because I don't have to use my big pieces then. I can use those for my papers while I'm still coffee dyeing some of these, and this will work in the house. So my envelopes and tags and that kind of stuff I've only been doing from this one, because if I do it from this design, once I run out, then I can't make any more until the next summer. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, you can contact me on Instagram. It's Vintage Style Snip, because it was too long of a name. I guess it wouldn't fit the whole thing in. So I hope I've helped. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.